Greetings, citizens. Justiguy has arrived and returned to a song of sunlight, where the festival is about to begin. But first, Brava is saying, huh? I don't know. It would never happen. Yeah, but just what if it did? I would never do that, though. What? Of course not. It's hypothetical. Just play along. I'm trying to tell a joke here. It's not a very funny joke. Brava, I haven't even told it yet. Yeah, but I just don't get, excuse me. Harum, there you are. Thank God. Hey, Brava, should we get going? I think things will be starting pretty soon. Please. Yes, let's. I found a good spot down the street to watch from. Follow me. Well, that was a mess, but it's finally over, and as the sun began to set, Brava led us down the streets through the now growing crowd. Yeah. Darkness was overtaking the settlement, and quickly its many lanterns were lit, warm light filling the air. In only a short few hours, the main street had been entirely covered in traditional decorations. Even after so many years, I found myself filled with childlike wonder and excitement. It was hard not to be, accompanied by friends and surrounded by such a display. This was a holy day, after all. The Sunlight Festival, they said, was the day in which God was the closest to his children. Even though he was gone from the sky, all of us felt his presence. Surely that's part of it. The ceremony was about to begin. The crowd that now lined the street was enormous. It was safe to say that the Sunlight Festival brought every man, woman, and child of the settlement to the streets. After all, why would somebody miss it? Brava and Canary stood close by, the three of us near the front of the crowd. Alright, so is this implying that Sachi is not here? Excited whispers and laughter filled the night air, smoky with the scent of cooking fires. My eyes went over the scene, taking it all in. I inhaled deeply, the cool evening breeze, tinged with smoke filling my lungs. The air seemed to stir with anticipation. It was as if everyone's excitement was my own. Suddenly, there was a distant drumbeat, and immediately the crowd fell silent. In the street, surrounded by messengers on all sides, stood the Ashan. They typically appeared at the commencement of each year's ceremony, giving a few encouraging words to the settlement. Ashan Jia spoke loudly. Tonight we have gathered under the stars, all of the children of God, the children of the sun. As is tradition, we have gathered to give thanks to him. Thanks to him for our many blessings. He paused. However, I am aware that this festival comes at an uneasy time. Recognition went across the crowd. Is it finally happening? Of course. Father had already told me to expect it. The Ashan are finally admitting it to us. The famine. If you've lived as long as I have, you would know that God often gives us challenges. I'm certain many of you have already heard in one way or another. You have seen the empty fields and noticed your daily meals reduced. So I won't delay this news any further. The harvest this year was indeed poor. He let his words hang. I knew what to expect, but even so, my heart skipped a beat. There was a low murmur of concerned voices from the crowd. It's undeniable that there will be difficulties, but it is precisely for this reason that our system is in place. The reason we carefully choose obligations, the reason we distribute food the way that we do, the reason we adhere to our system, is that it takes us through even the most difficult of times. So now, as we always do, we will thrive under these conditions. Nobody will go hungry. Simply continue to do your part, and we will survive. God's children will live on for all of time. It should be of no concern to you. He bowed slightly. I will take no more time from the ceremony. That is all. With that, the Ashan quickly retreated. I looked around. The crowd seemed restless. What had for weeks been rumors and neglected fears, it had now been confirmed by the Ashan. I already known, of course. Canary and Brava stood by my side, their faces anxious. The confirmation of it seemed news to them as well. However, without much time to process the statement, the drums began again. It's starting. Suddenly distracted from the solemn announcement, all eyes went to the main event, the procession. Forming even rows and ranks, sunlight maidens now filled the streets. Every other girl held in her hands a ceremonial banner. The banner itself was an ornate piece of tapestry, a religious scene woven into each. I wasn't sure what it was meant to be exactly. They began to walk in perfect unison, and at the same time there was singing. A line of maidens towards the back was singing. The song was familiar, accompanied by distant instruments. It seemed as though their voices carried along the hazy air, vanishing into the evening sky. It seemed to me much the same way embers burst to life from a brazier, glowing softly in the darkness for a fleeting moment before disappearing from sight. Our eyes followed the slow progress down the amber-lit streets, transfixed. Perhaps it was in the way their movements were so effortless, in the way the brilliant red of their clothing spun and swirled in the warm light, but it demanded attention. It seemed to distract from the words of the Ashan, if but for a moment. At some point, the singing came to an end. They stopped short of a small structure. This was the altar, which had been constructed earlier and placed in the street. The procession stopped, and there was movement from within the ranks of sunlight maidens. Coming to the front was a girl with her hood pulled low. Sachita? That's right. It was her turn to create the effigy! That isn't why. Effigy. She was telling me about it the day by the tree. She had been so nervous. I watched her carefully. It pacified some simply to not see her face, but the typical looks of disdain and disgust. All across the crowd, they were there all the same, even just knowing that beneath it all, the hooded girl was cursed. I won't look at them. I focused on Sachita. She came forward and folded her hands, much like high prayer and offering of archimancy was to be made. In her soft yet commanding voice, she began to speak. God above, your children are gathered here on our sacred island. We are gathered here to be in your presence, and to thank you for our many blessings. As she spoke, I couldn't help but feel strange at hearing a familiar prayer of thanks. Thanks for the food on our tables, thanks for the idyllic lives we lead. After having the harsh truth of famine confirmed by the highest authority in the settlement, Sachita continued confidently nonetheless. And when the prayer was done, she raised her arms. Indigo light came from her palms and air began to shimmer. Over a period of what must have been at least 5 minutes, Sachita kept her arms fixed and concentrated on her archimancy. For even a relative novice in the craft, such as myself, her sustained focus was nothing short of remarkable. Slowly, the effigy took shape. From a formless blob of metal to a recognizable figure, she held it suspended in the air. And just when it seemed there was no way she could hold it any longer, it was done. Left at her feet was a metal statue the size of a small child. It was beautiful. She had done it. There was a distant drumbeat, and 2 maidens came from her flanks to pick it up and carry it to the altar. Unassumingly retreating into the procession, all at once Sachita bowed and disappeared from sight. The singing resumed once more, and each of us in the crowd bowed to the altar. He was there with us then, I was told. On our lonely island under the stars, God watched us closely. We stood, eyes held shut, feeling his presence as the maidens' delicate voices filled the smoky air. I felt then that everyone here must be praying to him, praying for his guidance through the coming hardship. I was praying too. I wished that he would provide me with guidance of my own. I'm putting my life on the line every night, wandering the well. I wish I knew more. I wish he would tell me what I need to know. Surely he wants me to do this. This must be a part of his plan, to make this famine go away, to ensure that nobody is cruel to Sachita ever again. God wants that, right? At last, the ceremony was coming to a close. The sunlight maidens retreated gracefully into the crowd, and the din of many voices conversing slowly returned. I found myself oddly shaken. It wasn't the idea of the famine itself per se. It was the well. It seemed that even just thinking about the well was enough to scatter my thoughts. Are these lingering feelings from last night, falling into the darkness? That sickening, weightless feeling. No, stop. Now isn't the time for this. Tonight is the Sunlight Festival. This is supposed to be a fun night. The evening has only just begun. With the procession ended, the night's festivities began. The street, now filled with men and women, young and old, was lined with small booths. The booths were a tradition of the Sunlight Festival, handing out necklaces, rings, ceramics, and other small ceremonial items to anybody who passed by. Despite the looming concern of the famine, there were smiles and laughter all around. Even in the worst of times, it seemed, this was the night to forget your troubles and enjoy the sights and the sounds. Kanari, Prava, and I stood on a street corner waiting for Sachita, watching people go by. Even in such a crowd, it was easy to pick out the groups of friends as they passed, laughing and joking amongst themselves. I even noticed my mom and dad walking arm in arm out of the corner of my eye. I thought for a moment about catching up, forcing a conversation, finally breaking the lingering silence between my father and I. But no, if he wants to keep ignoring me, that's his decision. See if I care. After about 10 minutes, Sachita finally emerged from the crowd and approached us, giving a small wave and smiling. Hi, everyone. Oh, Sachi, you were incredible. Thank you. It's really a miracle the effigy came out all right. I was practically right up until I was practicing right up until we got started. I'm so relieved. Seriously impressive. That was what, a 5-minute cast? It's hard for a guy not to feel insecure seeing that, you know? You give me too much credit, Khan. I'd be pretty embarrassed if I had to share just how many hours I spent getting it right. There you go, being humble about it. None of us could have done that, Sachi. It's just true. All right, yes. I'll let you inflate my ego, but only for tonight. It really was a beautiful procession this year. But I can't help but feel a little unsettled after what the Ashan told us, though. Seriously, it sounded absurd when Prava first told me. What? You told me about it. I don't remember that at all. Well, Kanari told me about the rumors, but my father pretty much confirmed it. I don't really understand how something like this could even happen. There's always been more than enough to go around. You said it would be fine, right? Right. Yeah. You know what? We're wasting time dwelling on it. They already told us not to worry, and it's the festival, right? Let's enjoy ourselves tonight and then worry about everything else tomorrow. Yeah, good point. That does sound more fun. True. So then, what was the plan again? Why don't we stop by seeing the sights around here for a little while? There's an idea. Why don't we pair up and explore? Khan and I can go this way, and you and Sachi can go that way. Because we're going to meet up later and all. It sounds like a wonderful idea, Prava. We'll see you in a bit then, yeah? Alright, sure. Why not see you two in a bit? Have fun. I want to see what they're handing out this year. Oh, maybe they'll have necklaces? You know, I'm pretty sure you could easily make anything they're handing out yourself, Sachi. Maybe, but that's not very fun, is it? True. I know you're technically off duty, but understand that I'll be making use of you as my personal guard and escort tonight. They're so cute. All right. Don't laugh. This is serious business. Sure it is. Let's go see what they have then, shall we? A little necklace. Sachita's mission. Hold on. Okay, we can't roll. Check. Sachita and I approached one of the booths lining the street, and hopefully nothing bad will happen. A small crowd gathered around it, their faces lit warmly by the glowing paper lanterns. It seemed to be giving out rings of some kind, wooden but colorful and detailed. Sachita stopped a few feet short, and I turned to look back at her. She smiled and waved me forward playfully. Right. Sachita probably shouldn't be the one interacting with people. No! Waiting in line for a short moment, I made it to the front and asked the man for 2 rings. Rings in hand. Make believe reborn! Question all it's known! Turned and walked back to Sachita stood, hand on hip, waiting for me. Here you are. Not quite what you were looking for, but nice, I think. Ah, these are beautiful. I wonder what the engraving depicts. You should be telling me that, Sachi. Oh, who remembers all those stories? I usually fall asleep. She laughed, and it was like daybreak. I couldn't help but admire her standing there under the night sky. Her hair lit softly from all sides by orange light. It seemed to glow like fire. My excited thoughts spilled over. What did I do to deserve this? To be here with her tonight? To get to laugh with her? I wanted so badly to say, Sachita, you are beautiful. How could I say something like that right now? By opening your mouth, you goof. What's stopping me? Why can't I tell her how I feel? Why couldn't I do it tonight? Uh-oh. It's not the time. I still have so much to do before I can be her husband. Oh, right, I can't do anything for her until I find the exit. Until I find a path from the well to a better world. I'm as good as worthless to her. Dude? You're developing a complex, I fear. thoughts of the well returned. The horrifying feeling of weightlessness. The moment I thought I'd broken both of my legs. The adrenaline of tearing through ancestor after ancestor. All of these thoughts came suddenly like rain on a cloudless day, and I felt dizzy. Aram? Aram? Are you okay? Fine. I'm fine. Just, staring into space. Hey, don't get tired on me now. There's more to see. And most importantly, I haven't found any necklaces yet. Sure, I'm coming. God above, I need to pull it together. What's happening to me tonight? I mean, you're traumatized, my dude. Haven't found any so far. Try another booth. Sachita pointed at another booth, giddily. Shaking myself off, I smiled and approached, happy to oblige. Coming to the front, I found this one handing out small bowls. Just like the rings, the bowls were colorful, with intricate patterns covering the bottom. I eyed them carefully, wondering if Kanari hadn't been involved in the designs. Bowls in hand, I returned to where Sachita stood. Necklaces! Not quite. Oh, necklaces? Not quite. This one had bowls. I think Khan and Prava might have worked on these both. Ooh, they're so pretty. Those two are so talented, for sure. But if Khan were here, he'd probably start going on about how he thinks pottery doesn't take any skill, and that his work is mind-numbing and so on. He's so funny. What do you mean? Kanari tries to act all disinterested and aloof, but just look at this bowl. Deep down, I think he cares more about his job than people let on. I don't know. I trailed off, and we stood in comfortable silence for a long moment, enjoying the pleasant festival ambiance. Sachita looked off past me, something seeming to catch her eye. I took the opportunity to steal another glance at her, the woman I love, the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. Suddenly, it was nagging at me again. Talk of Kanari had reminded me of what he said. He told me not to wait too long. What does that even mean? I looked around the crowd for a moment. Nobody wants to touch her. Nobody even wants to go near her. Nobody besides me, Mom, Dad, Prava, Khan, and maybe a handful of others. Nobody would take her from me first. Oh God, don't go there! I started to feel dizzy again. I closed my eyes for a moment, clenched my fists. My heart started to beat. Well, the dark, speaking ancestors, falling, thinking an impact would kill me instantly. So instead I'd starve in the dark, all of my bones broken. I have to keep doing it. Every night, I wanted to throw up. Aram, are you okay? You look so pale. Do you feel sick? No, really. I'm just tired. Let's go to the next booth. Yeah. I'm sure that one will have necklaces. Okay then. I need you alert, Mr. Journeyman. A lady can't be expected to walk around a festival unaccompanied, of course. Right. What was I thinking? Keep it together. Kuruninare. Why are my thoughts affecting me so much? How will I ever achieve my goal if I can't even keep my composure on a night like this? Oh. I was hoping we would get the bowl and the ring, and that was why I had the little inventory icon updated. I let out a sharp breath, trying to clear my head. I waved Sachita forward, eager to seem lively. Once again, she stopped just short of the small crowd around the booth and let me walk up alone. At last, this was the necklace booth Sachita had been looking for. Taking two from the man, I turned and brought them back. Yay! It's your lucky day. Oh my god! It's perfect. Thank you, Aram. I didn't do much, but I'm happy to take the credit for it. Well, I'm having a good time tonight. I'd say you're doing plenty. Thanks. I'm having a good time with you, too. That's sweet. Here, I'll give you a chance to flatter me even more. Sachita bent her head, draping the necklace around her neck. She fiddled with it for a short moment before finally letting it be, satisfied with the placement. Sachita looked at me expectantly, hands on her chest. Come on, say she looks nice. Well, she asked, how does it look? The necklace glimmered in the warm lantern light. The music is trailing off. Sachita held her hands over top one another, pressed calmly into her neck. I opened my mouth to say something. How could I even begin to describe it? What series of words would ever cover it? How could I tell her that even just the sound of her voice was more beautiful than any piece of jewelry in the settlement? It's sort of funny, even with how disoriented I feel tonight. I can think of so many words to describe even the littlest thing about her. Yet, after a long while, much too long, I only manage a simple sentence. It looks great, Sachi. Bro, you're fumbling. That'll do, I think. It took you alarmingly long to think of it, though. Sorry. Clearly, I didn't get enough sleep last night. It really does look good. It's okay. I was fishing for a compliment to begin with, so the moment is ruined anyway. Should we go meet up with those two now? I got what I came for, after all. Yeah, let's. Tell her you love her! Please, tell her you love her! Festival necklace. In combat items. Whoa! Holy shit! How do I get to equipment? That is so big. Sachita's ring slightly increases maximum health. I'm not getting rid of the ring. There are our Nakama friends. Wait, what? Why is this an option? What the heck? We noticed Kanari and Prava standing at the edge of what appeared to be a ring of people. They were gathered around something. Peering through the line of onlookers, I saw men and women spinning around each other to the rhythm of a drumbeat. Were they dancing? Ask her to dance. There you two are. How's it going? Seen anything fun? Not really. Just a whole lot of booths. So, same as last year. Don't listen to him. It was plenty fun. People are enjoying the bowls we helped make. Don't feel even a little bit accomplished? Just a little. Well, Anna and I really liked them. Yeah, it turned out awesome. See? That's what I've been telling you, Khan. Now, come on, let's jump in. Jump into what? The dance! It started a few minutes ago. Oh, I always forget about this. You and Sachi should do it too, Aram. Oh, maybe. You three have fun. There's no way I'm getting in there. Oh, come on. It's not a big deal, and it's a partner dance, obviously. I can't go alone. Aram loves that sort of thing, right? Take turns with him. I wouldn't say. Come on, seriously. Can you just try it this year, please? Brava. My leg. There's no way I could. It's okay, I don't mind. I'll lead and said no, okay? She just wants to dance with you, man. Let Aram and Sachi do it. They'll watch. She wanted to dance. Now you made her sad. Okay, fine. You two want to. Well, Aram, you want to dance? I will. If you want to. Even despite the state of my head, a chance to dance with Sachita was simply too great an offer to pass up. I responded without a moment's hesitation. Of course. Securing her hood, Sachi led me to the edge of the ring. Pairs of men and women danced in a circle to the rhythm of the drum. On all sides, spectators clapped to keep time, smiling and cheering. There were a few open positions. I looked at Sachita, decidedly unsure how to begin. Wait, I don't even know the dance! She looked back at me, smiling. And without a word, she took my hand and pulled me forward. Aww. We both knew touching was forbidden, of course, but my mother was nowhere to be seen, so... it seemed okay. Fortunately, Sachita appeared to know the dance well. Taking the lead, she deftly stepped into the sequence of dancers. She pulled me along, our hands knitted together, spinning back and forth in a dizzying display, and nothing bad will happen, and her hood won't fall down, and people won't riot. None of that's gonna happen. I was certain I looked very ridiculous. My feet came down hard and clumsily. I was self-conscious about the many awkward stares we received, both for the impropriety of touching a sunlight maiden, and a clear suspicion of who exactly the hooded girl was. But all the same, we danced under the stars. We smiled and laughed. She held my hands tightly. I love this woman. Do I? Do I deserve this right now? Do I really get to enjoy this? With everything I know, everything I still have to do, just pretending that everything is as it should be. Don't. He's gonna do something bad. He's gonna freak out. Words caught in my throat. I felt my heart stop. I blinked. I was so worried he was gonna just freak out. I blinked hard. I mean, it's clearly building. We're building to that, but this poor kid is not okay. Ah, I see now. I see now why I feel so strange tonight. It's because this burden is following me. It will be haunting me until I'm finished. It will be in my head every day and every night. So I closed my eyes and kept dancing. Meet up. And then he literally bet me I couldn't do it. So naturally, I snuck into his place that same day and took him. Seriously? It's so funny. Oh, no. That's not how it happened. Oh, right. RM was my lookout. Hold on, I didn't ask to be credited. It was entirely your idea. Don't be so humble. It was a collaborative effort to make Rambia look like an idiot. I can't believe you're actually bragging about stealing and not getting caught. I don't think it'll be too long. You've told that story to 1,000 people, including Ranbir. I thought it was funny. Sachi, can we please change the subject? What for? Oh, I don't know. Maybe the major developments in your best friend's life? Oh, right. There's really not much more to tell than what you've already heard. You should still celebrate it a little, yes. That is absolutely something I want to do. Journeyman is a big deal. I thought it would be. It's really just a few odd jobs here and there and a whole lot of sitting around. Well, we're proud of you, and, sorry for spreading those rumors about you, you know, dying and all. I heard it from a few other people, and, well, clearly it was a major overreaction. It's really okay. It was kind of funny. Con, you too, apologize and say something nice. Well, we already talked about it plenty. I'm sure Aaron's sick of it by now, right? Yeah. It's alright, Prava. In any case, that just leaves Khan left to advance, right? Assuming we don't get another surprise like Aram. Should be next season. Uh-huh. Who really cares? Aram was just being modest before he's actually get the whole new job. For me, the things aren't going to change too much. That's not true at all. For one, you'll get a concentration that... Ah, yes, how exciting. I'll get to pick between glaze and enamel. Lucky me. Well, when you say it like that, it doesn't sound very exciting. And, you don't get to pick. You helping my point here, Prav? For what it's worth, I'm very jealous of you two. I think I might have the most boring obligation there is. You make a good point there, Sachi. Whatever. I'm excited for you. How about that? I suppose it could be worse. I could be advancing a journeyman as a farmer this season. You know, when there's nothing to pick and grow. Thanks for reminding me. You know, it's terrible that they picked tonight of all nights to tell us about the food shortage. I mean, everybody's around. It makes sense. Speaking of, I was thinking about the future. Do you guys think anything's going to change? You know, day to day? Well, can't say for certain. But I was hearing from some of the older guys that they think the food distribution's going to get a little more radical. Radical? How do you mean? Well, ordinarily, the couriers bring extra food to the most important obligations, right? Oh, right, like farming and wound bearing. Yeah, exactly. So, in a scenario where there's less food across the board, they kind of want to make sure that those same obligations get the majority, even if the others get their rations cut. So then, who's going to get their rations cut the most? Who knows? But I can't imagine pottery being high on that list, Prav. Aram and Sachi. You two might be okay. I watched as Kanari's words slowly washed over the group. Each of their expressions seemed to hold a knot of worries, certainly imagining the many frightening unknowns of the future. I'm afraid as well, perhaps for many different reasons, but I realized tonight that it doesn't matter how I feel, it doesn't matter how these things affect me, it doesn't matter how close I come to dying every night. For the sake of everybody on this island, for my friends, for my family, for Sachita, I'll keep going. I'll delve further downward, as far down as the well goes if that's what it takes. And all the while, I'll put on a brave face. I don't know, for some reason, I'm not worried. I wish I could say the same. And in any case, Bravo was right. Tonight isn't the night to worry about things like that. Let's just leave all that until tomorrow. You're right. And next year's festival, I'm sure we won't even remember having this conversation. So, I don't know where the break is for Chapter 1 and Chapter 2. I'm starting to feel like this is building up to the end of Chapter 1, and maybe Chapter 2 will follow a time skip of sorts. I'm curious. And it's probably true. I'll stop being a bummer. And so, as the night stretched on into its small hours, the four of us laughed, told stories, and enjoyed one another's company. Discussion of the famine and of our worries faded away. At some point, I recall getting the feeling that I would remember that night. I would look back on it desperately, remembering the warmth of the lantern light and the company of my friends, the memory of my night spent with Sachita dancing under the moon. I knew even then that it was precious. Precious like nothing else had ever been on my years on the island. The next morning, Kanari and I walked home through the now deserted streets, buzzing with the energy of such a night well spent. I think I'll wish I could do it all over again. Just tonight, one more time. Oh, okay, I was half right at least. Chapter 2, A Memory of Wounds. Under the midday sun, a line of figures stood restlessly outside the kiln. Who are they? What are they doing there? We're not going to find out today, citizens, for I'm afraid this is where we have to part. So, until we meet again, I'm afraid this is going to have to be farewell.